Welcome to this explainer. As a JavaScript professional, I've analyzed our source material to put together this high-level overview for you. Today, we're going to concisely explain the core concepts of JavaScript libraries, and we'll be using jQuery as our primary example. Honestly, understanding this concept is an absolute game changer for your workflow, so let's jump right in. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with reinventing the code wheel, move into the JavaScript library solution, introduce jQuery as the industry standard, cover setup and content delivery, and finally, look at jQuery in action.
All right, Section 1, Reinventing the Code Wheel.
To kick things off, let's just confront a really common, highly relatable pain point. Why on earth would you spend hours coding complex features like a drag-and-drop interface completely from scratch? I mean, imagine building dynamic, highly interactive features manually, line by tedious line. It's exhausting just thinking about it, right? The truth is, highly efficient developers absolutely hate doing redundant work. If a problem has already been solved, we want to use that solution. Because at the end of the day, in professional web development, we don't always reinvent the wheel. And, using pre-existing solutions isn't cheating. It's actually the absolute foundation of a professional workflow. You really don't get any extra points for doing things the hard way when a perfectly optimized, battle-tested solution already exists out there in the coding community.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 2, the JavaScript library solution. So what exactly is a JavaScript library? Well, it's basically a pre-written chunk of JavaScript code designed to perform specific tasks. Think of it like this. Someone else has already packed the complex functionality you need into a single, easily linkable file. So instead of writing everything from scratch, you just tap into other people's well-tested work right inside your own script. It's like a giant shortcut.
And the sheer scale of efficiency here is it's mind-blowing. Look at those numbers. What would normally take you around 100 lines of vanilla JavaScript to write from scratch can often be executed in just 2 or 3 lines when you're using a library. 2 or 3 lines. To put that into perspective, that is a massive return on investment for your time.
Moving right along to Section 3, enter jQuery, the industry standard.
Now, the JavaScript ecosystem is huge. There are literally thousands of libraries out there, with new ones being added pretty much daily for anything you can possibly think of. We're talking general-purpose tasks, complex animations, form enhancements, seamless video integration, you name it. But out of all those available tools, one definitely stands high above the rest.
And that brings us to jQuery. I absolutely love how our source material describes this. jQuery is the legendary, widely used, and quote, freaking awesome industry standard. It's the most popular library out there simply because it makes doing a ton of complex JavaScript tasks, especially document object model or DOM manipulation, incredibly easy. It's a real lifesaver.
Okay, Section 4, Setup and Content Delivery. So, how do we actually bring all this incredible power into our own projects? Well, sure, you could download the file directly to your computer and drop it into your website's directory, but honestly, there's a much better way. Enter the CDN, or Content Delivery Network. This is a service where the library files are hosted on someone else's super fast servers. So instead of downloading the whole thing, you just link to a smaller, squashed, minified version of the file. It does exactly the same thing, but it's heavily optimized to make your setup incredibly efficient. Setting this up is an absolute breeze. Step 1, you just copy that jQuery CDN URL. Step 2, you add a standard script tag with that source URL directly into your HTML file. But, and listen up because Step 3 is the critical pro tip you cannot forget, you must always load the jQuery script above your own custom JavaScript file in the HTML document. Why? Because your custom code relies on that library being ready first. If you load it underneath, your script literally won't know what jQuery is, and the whole thing breaks.
All right, let's get to the really good stuff. Section 5, jQuery in action.
Let's actually look at the code to see the true value here. Just look at the vanilla JavaScript on the left. It can be so awkward and long-winded when you're trying to grab DOM elements. You'll literally have to write out document.getElementById content, chain that to getElementsByTagName P, and then specify an array index just to grab one puny paragraph tag. But look over at the jQuery side. By just using the $sign symbol and a standard CSS selector, we reduce all that junk to simply $#content.lastChild. Boom. It's sleek, it's simple, and it targets the exact element with total ease. And once you've grabbed that element, the magic really starts. jQuery gives you hundreds of built-in methods. You can effortlessly tack on a .add class or .remove class. You can make an element disappear and reappear beautifully using .fadeout and .fadein. You can even modify CSS properties on the fly just by passing an object into the .css method. And it goes way beyond simple toggles. You can use the .animate method to smoothly slide elements around, like shifting a div 50 pixels to the left right across the screen. It immediately gives your site a polished, highly professional feel with practically zero effort. So what does this all mean for you? Well, to wrap this explainer up, tools like jQuery allow you to build faster, write significantly cleaner code, and completely avoid reinventing the wheel. But here's the thing, jQuery is really just scratching the surface. Mastering these tools levels up your code immediately. So I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. If a single library can make your life this much easier, what else does the vast JavaScript ecosystem have waiting out there to completely revolutionize your workflow? Get out there, start exploring, and let your curiosity lead the way.